You found our show, so come on in and take a seat. Warrior class, we got the keys. Dun, 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 dun. To get you where you need to be, just study our show, and you're gonna grow like crazy. Watching you will see. Dun, 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 dun. Warrior class, we got the keys, just watch our show, 'cause it's for you and your babies.
Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whoop ass.
And you too, if you pass. All right, this is the Bruce Lee's Black Connection episode.
Yeah, well. Greetings, family. How you doing, Baba?
Oh, I'm fine. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you.
That's
I
good.
came late, didn't get a chance to ask you how you were. I was trying to situate the room.
That's cool. So we're gonna get into the episode right after Omaniki give you the news.
Well, last week when we came together, we talked briefly about the fact that the U.S. had just been bombing Nigeria, and now as of I guess I don't know if it was last night or early this morning, my power actually went out around 12 a.m. So I didn't have power until about 5 a.m. this morning. But when I woke up, I saw in the news that the U.S. Did some sort of strike in Venezuela and has taken captive the president and his wife of Venezuela. Yeah, it's hard to talk about anything else right now. There was a show on Black Power Media, Kalanji show that went into it in depth, and I mean, to not know much about it is hard to not just parrot whatever someone else says about it. I have seen actually in the last few minutes someone posting about how maybe some guerrillas in Colombia, and I guess that's the whole thing, is to see what happens as a result, what reactions there will be to that kind of aggression. But it's shocking to me, even though we know who we're dealing with. I guess the specific moves that they make,
Now,
still be
my wife has talked to some people who live in Nigeria, and one brother said that Boko Haram is threatening people where they're scared to go out at night. But I believe Boko Haram, and many in Nigeria believe it too, is a CIA front. So
yeah, I mean that wouldn't surprise me.
That's only Nikki.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna any other news you got?
I mean that eclipses whatever news I was thinking about. I know locally here there was actually I guess it's probably happened everywhere. There was a Lyft driver who was carjacked and killed not too far from the area that I live in. But that, and I guess the Venezuela story and many of the other ones that I probably would have brought out today just means that we need to be aware in many ways. We need to be aware of our immediate surroundings, and we need to be aware of what is happening out here, and move accordingly.
All right. Um, yeah, I don't have any news other than what I heard about with Boko Haram. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. I gotta take an old man break, and then we'll get right back. But you can talk to him, Mama Nikki.
Okay. Peace to the family. I haven't pulled up the YouTube list, so I'm not sure who's in here, but let me do that right now. Um, it's a comfort to do this show sometimes, to be able to talk to all of you, even though we're not face to face. So I just wanted to say I'm grateful. It's very grounding, especially today, right now. So let's see who is here with us. Especially today. Excuse me. Our good brother Eugene Mason, the Spider Man. Um, and that's it for that besides the lurkers. So far that's it. But shout out to the two of you. And Brother Eugene says the Imperial gangster doing what they do. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Um, yeah. We just have to make sure that we're prepared as much as we can be for whatever is happening. Where we hear about all kinds of things, and um yeah, we just have to be ready. Excuse me. I guess I probably seem thrown. I really am today. Um let's see who else. Oh, this is a new one, I think. The I cannot see this. Sherlon Cloud. Oh, peace from a Libra, no less. Greetings to you, fellow Libra. Yeah, we're happy to have you here. I don't remember you commenting before, but if you did, then welcome back. You remember the shirt? What does it say, Baba? Is it the Sherlin Cloud? This is
Shoreline Cloud 6816.
okay, but they don't make up those numbers. I think that's YouTube giving them those numbers, right?
Yeah, yeah. She said, well, she or he said, I no, I've been here since inception.
Oh, wonderful.
Sherlin is how it's pronounced.
Sure. Oh, sure, like a Sherlin. The jacket or the coat or whatever. Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in. And let's see here. Let me pull up my notes, Baba.
Yeah, I gotta do the same.
As many of you who have been here since inception, like Sherlin, may have seen, we have definitely spoken on Bruce Lee before. But I think that there's so many different aspects, especially for this being a martial arts based show, and the fact that we love our people so much. We go in depth about this particular person because our people, seem to admire him so much. There's so many of our people that have built up a lore and a mysticism around Bruce Lee. So,
Right. And our other Bruce Lee shows were on the other platform.
oh, okay.
So, all right. This is Bruce Lee's Black connection instead of his Chinese connection. So, actor and martial artist Bruce Lee, who died 50 years ago on July 20th, 1973, had a massive impact on the black community. But long before he became a global icon, black fighters and black culture helped shape him. Many of us first saw Bruce Lee as Kato on the Green Hornet, clad in black, black suit, black hat, black mask. He whooped Robin's all-American white bread ass. That episode aired on March 2nd, 1967, before I was born. But my friends and I caught it in reruns. We didn't know the date. We didn't care. It was the best episode of that show ever. The next day, black kids reenacted it in the streets and playgrounds. You see Kato kick Robin's butt? It also boosted my credibility. Suddenly, everyone wanted to learn that African karate I had just started studying from my old man. We didn't get Bruce on television much after that, but we were already hooked. We followed him to the big screen, the big boss called Fist of Fury in the United States. As much as Kato inspired young black viewers, black men were also shaping Bruce.
Bruce was sent from Hong Kong to San Francisco in 1958, then to Seattle when he was 18. He attended Edison Technical School and later taught small martial arts classes while working as a busboy. In Seattle, Bruce met young black men in classrooms, at dances, and at parties. One day, behind Garfield bowling lanes, he met a teenage guitarist named Jimi Hendrix. Bruce admired Hendrix's style, his swagger, his clothes, the way he wore his hair. Bruce's first student, Jesse Glover, was black. They trained in a garage across from the restaurant where Bruce worked and lived. Glover told Bruce about the realities of black life in America, including police brutality. One of Glover's reasons for training was self-defense against the police. That mattered. It shaped Bruce's understanding of race in America, especially the fragility of safety for people who were not white. This exchange didn't sit well with everyone. Ruby Chow, whose family employed Bruce, objected strongly, especially to him teaching black people. You're teaching Negroes this and that, she warned. They're going to beat up Chinese. Bruce replied, they're going to beat up Chinese anyway. If I teach them, they'll respect Chinese.
In 1966, Bruce moved to Los Angeles with his wife and child. He began filming The Green Hornet, earning only $400 an episode, so he continued teaching martial arts.
At UCLA, basketball Lou Alcindor, later Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, trained with Bruce. They met through a mutual friend at Black Belt magazine. Alcindor spoke to Bruce about the Black freedom struggle and his decision to boycott the 1968 Olympics. They shared striking parallels. Both were child prodigies. Both were highly visible minorities. Both were raised in Catholic schools. Both endured bullying. Both migrated as young men to new cities. Alcindor introduced Bruce to books on Islam. Bruce encouraged Alcindor to lift weights. Bruce later cast him in Game of Death. Bruce learned deeply from these relationships.
When Bruce died, Cleopatra Jones thrilled black audiences. That same day, July 20th, 1973, someone told us Bruce Lee just died. It was me and my father. Bruce was 32. A year later, Carl Douglas released Kung Fu Fighting. It topped the charts. In black households across Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, even Yazoo, Mississippi, posters of Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, and Bruce Lee hung side by side.
That's the lore. Bruce's legacy crossed color lines, but his relatability to black audiences came from shared struggle. He was multiracial, bullied as a child, excluded in Hollywood, and denied leading roles, most famously in Kung Fu, which he helped create, only to see it handed to a white actor. Asians were rarely heroic in American mythology. Neither were black people. Bruce understood that. He rejected fixed styles, rejected racial hierarchy, and taught effectiveness over tradition. In Way of the Dragon, he rejects nationalism in martial arts entirely. His films confronted oppression directly: labor exploitation, colonialism, police harassment. Enter the Dragon explicitly referenced Black resistance and the Black martial arts movement. Black audiences saw themselves in him, a non white underdog fighting for dignity on screen and in life.
Bruce Lee is often mythologized as invincible. People told me all his hundreds of movies were hits. When I corrected them, said he only completed 3 films while alive, they wanted to fight me. One did. After I whooped him, his final words were, "I saw those same moves in Bruce Lee's movies, but he did them better." And first of all, the guy that I beat, I didn't throw any kicks, and Bruce was, famous for his kicks. I punched him, yes. I threw him, yes. But there was no kicking. I think I may have hit him with a knee.
He couldn't tell.
No. After the first couple of hits, right. He was gone. I was gone too. My friend Anthony Morgan, he jokes that it's this one dude in the neighborhood. He was a crackhead and crack addict, and he stole his mother's television. I promised her I'd get it back. I caught James, and he said, I already sold the TV. I said, well, you got to give your mother the money. I ain't giving her nothing. And that set me off. Now, I don't remember what I did to him. I just remember him being on the ground after. But Anthony said that he said, man, you grabbed your ankles and jumped and hit him with knees. I said, I did not. He said, you ran up the building, you ran up the side of the building, and then you jumped off and hit him. I said, I did not, but he said I was doing like amazing kung fu movie stuff,
Wow. That's not too far from the truth.
I wish I could run up the side of a building and grab my knees and hit somebody, but
you just don't remember what it is. What was I about to say about Bruce Lee? Excuse me. Yeah, that's funny though, that in the end, even after you beat this guy, he still wouldn't let go of that, that Bruce Lee mythology.
Say, yeah, Bruce Lee did it better.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the truth. But I mean, we've talked about this before, but the one actor, Michael Jai White, they've interviewed him a few times recently in the past few years about whether or not he could beat Bruce Lee, and he was like, yeah. And I think that most people who can look at it objectively and who are familiar with martial arts, even just on the surface level, would agree that that's true. But
yeah, I mean, the Bruce Lee's daughter Shannon and I think her mother. Um, they just gave Michael Jai White the Bruce Lee Award.
I saw that. Yeah.
So
So they're acknowledging. I mean, he's trained for many more years. He's much bigger physically. You know,
right,
he just has a whole lot more experience. Like, I mean, it's not even a question.
right,
So, but people want to hold on to. I mean, there's a lot of myths that we believe that we want to hold on. Right? Eugene Mason said he weighs 100 more pounds than Bruce Lee.
right, right,
Come
and
on,
that will cause Bruce some problems if he was alive. Well, if he was alive now, he'd be
like in
what,
the 70s.
90. No, 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 he was born in 1933, I
Oh,
think.
he's older than my grandmother. Wow.
So, so he's almost my mother's age. My mother is 94,
Oh, okay.
so he's 2 years younger. So he'd be 92. So he'd be too old to be fighting somebody right now anyway. But
He be using his chi now. He be in his chi days.
right,
He be
but
like
Bruce in his prime,
and
Bruce in
like
his prime could not beat Michael Jai White today, who's like 50.
right.
Mm-mm, no. Especially Michael Jai White is still in great shape,
He is.
um, great form for his martial arts. So, no. Any questions? Now, um, we did an episode on Bruce's drug use. We didn't talk about that today because today was about his relationship with black people, but there was some drug use. Like most people in the film industry at that level, um, unfortunately. Now, I don't think Denzel has done drugs, but I'm not sure. Um, but we
I
know
think.
Samuel Jackson did,
Oh yeah, definitely.
you know, but I'm not sure about Denzel.
And you just hear about people all of a sudden overdosing. Someone who you have watched and had no idea that could be actually what their reality was or is. Um, so yeah, I mean it's rampant, you know. And I think, and I'm sure, excuse me, that it's because of the compromises that you end up making to get to that level of notoriety. Sometimes it's hard to live with yourself, so you
And
have to.
some executives and things like that, they push the drug use on you.
Right, that too. And that's another reason why we don't want to. And it's funny, Baba Deruba was talking about that this morning in the podcast about the invasion of Venezuela, and it's something that we've heard before. But that's another reason why you don't prop up celebrity as your leadership, because these people have been gotten to. We it's not these are not they don't go out and get our best and put them in front of us. They go out and get people who they can corrupt and people who they can control. So, that's not your leadership class.
I remember an actress during the George Floyd uprising, and
Mm.
she was begging the police, "Will they do they love us? Will they march with us?"
And she
I'm
has
like,
she's a lot of notoriety since then. I mean, I don't know if
right.
yeah, she's gotten a lot of notoriety since then.
Now,
So
I'm
it's
like,
like
I'm like, I'm like, sister, stop that shit.
Right.
But she didn't stop it. So, and now you see she's got a payoff.
Most
You know,
definitely.
she ended up with a talk show, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay. Everywhere you look, most
Yeah.
definitely, because that's what happens. Eugene Mason said Babylon sells celebrity.
And then celebrities are for sale to the highest brand deal they can get. Yeah, yeah. See, I know who you're talking about. I'm sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give their name any shine, but
Exactly.
I know you know who I'm talking about.
Mhm. Yeah. It's always some controversy or something
Right,
happening with that particular person. But that's part of the celebrity too, making sure you keep your name, and that's why we're not naming them, but making sure that you keep your name on people's mouths and on people's minds. So we just have to stay connected to what's real. And I know I'm in an echo chamber right now, but maybe someone watches this later that is just coming into some of this information and you know under, understands that you have to put that part down to a certain extent. Like we
right,
all like watching movies, we all like watching television shows and being entertained, and we understand symbolism, so we understand the things that we see even as a part of that entertainment, but not everyone does.
right. Now, everybody who I remember talking with my nephew. I mean, he's 40 something now, but when he was 3 years old, and he knew Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee had been long dead,
Mm-hmm.
but he knew who Bruce Lee was. So, um,
Bruce Lee and Michael Jackson. They transcend all
I believe, yeah, I believe those two are the most famous entertainers in the world. I don't think anybody can match them in their fame.
somehow people just, I mean, like you said, children just somehow they know. And I mean, with Michael Jackson in particular, it's like they know that he is the biggest thing, like
Oh
ever.
yeah, yeah,
Somehow that feeling still gets imparted to them. Even at whatever 4 or 5 years old, they understand Michael Jackson is a big deal.
right. But many of those, most of those, know that Bruce Lee was a big deal too. They don't do martial arts. They don't know nothing, but they know Bruce Lee.
Yeah, bro.
Now, my daughter, my youngest daughter, she wouldn't know Bruce Lee because we don't talk about him like that in our home, and we don't watch Bruce Lee movies and things like that. But um, I remember a few years ago, I was on the internet, on Facebook, and I said, "What is?" I asked a question. I said, "What is the thing with Bruce Lee? Why is he so mythologized? Why is?" And I think about 30 people answered my question, and they were showing his movie clips and things of that nature. Suggestions I should go to watch the clips, and he was impressive. He was an impressive martial artist. I give him that. Good afternoon. Bruce Lee appreciated black people. His first American student was black. Yeah, we dealt with that. Then Kareem, yes, had Jim Kelly and ETD. Loved Ali. Wore dashikis often. Um, Now he did love Ali. Yes. Um, I don't know if he wore dashikis often. I think I've seen one picture of him with a dashiki on. So, do you think that Bruce Lee at 30 years old would have a chance against a 30-year-old Michael Jai White in a non-sports combat fight? No. A
I would.
30-year-old Michael Jai White
Yeah.
still had more experience than Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee only trained for I think 3.5 years. Where's this master stuff come from? But he trained for 3.5 years. And Michael Jai White at 30 had already been training for 10, 20 years well, I think 10 years in a martial art.
And he was broad at 30.
Yes, yes.
For sure. I
He
remember.
was he's always been a big guy. Um, even as a teenager, I've seen pictures of him as a teenager. He's a large teenager.
He was straight.
So at 30, yes, he would have
Question.
smoked Bruce Lee. Um, Bruce Lee was fast.
But he also had the benefit of movies, of movie equipment. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's right. That too. But you know, I've talked to people who trained with Bruce Lee, and they said he was fast. I don't believe he was as fast as they said. They said that Bruce could, you'd be 10 feet away, and Bruce could tap you in the head, then move back to that 10 feet before you even knew it. I was like, no, that's bullshit. Because I've seen Bruce Lee try to hit a brother named Vic Moore, and they've changed the video. They've altered the video now. But when he tried to hit Vic Moore blocked it and then put up his finger like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic Moore said, when Bruce was doing the demo, he said, this guy's not that fast. This guy's not that fast. On camera, yes, you can make anybody look faster. But he was not that fast. Hold on. Go out the room, baby. My daughter's insisting on reading this book, and no, she's got. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
That's beautiful. Yeah, daddy all the time. Mm-mm-mm. Greetings, Brittany. And 9, is it 9 minutes or 9? I apologize. It sounds like I don't read well when I try to read people's names, but I'm okay with the reading. Brother Eugene says, let her read. I manifesto. What's up? And also, I saw someone else who we didn't shout out. Oh, Emmanuel Briggs. Greetings, Emmanuel. Oh, we did read your comment, though. Baba read your comment. Greetings, family. Thank y'all for being here. It's good to see everyone. Baba, you still on mute? Right, exactly. She wants to tell stories.
Okay, I think I'm off mute now. She can read, Eugene, out of this room. She wants to tell stories like daddy. Yeah, she does. Yes. The stories I tell are true. She wants to read this doggone book she got with animals and vehicles and all that. she loves that book. She was like, what animal is this? Now she knows what animal it is, but she,
Yeah, she
oh,
wants to quiz.
that's a duck.
She got to quiz you. That's
Right,
mastery. Because y'all
right,
have asked her all the animals, and so now she got to teach them back to you. Yeah.
right. And she says, good job, good job.
That's what's up. That's beautiful. Oh,
Yeah, she's crying because she can't come back in the room.
yeah. Clearly. Clearly.
She come back in the room, she'll learn about Bruce Lee. She'll learn about Bruce Lee and his legacy and all that good stuff.
Ooh. Anthony David's got some some comments. I'm gonna let you
Anthony Davis. I don't see. Oh, Anthony Davis. Good afternoon. Bruce Lee appreciated black people. You talking about that?
No. Anthony Davis says, no, those are lies. Bruce Lee trained since he was an early teen. Michael Jai White, till this day, a point fighter only, has not accepted any challenges from any MMA fighter. All that disrespectful crap he said about Lee.
Okay, so Bruce Lee began training when he was an early teen from Yip Man. Yes. And he trained for 3.5 years. Then he moved to the United States, where he did not keep up his training. Now, he kept up his training, his individual training,
right,
weights and things of that nature, but his martial arts training, no. So they are not lies. You're mistaken. Now, Michael Jai White, to this day, a point fighter only, has not accepted any challenges from any MMA fighter. First of all, Michael Jai White, like I said earlier, he's like 50. He's 50, at least. Michael Jai White shouldn't be accepting any fights from an MMA fighter. And yes, he was a point fighter, but most people out here still couldn't deal with his point fighting speed. One thing about point fighting, it uses speed. All right, and most people couldn't handle that. Now, I'm not saying Michael Jai White is the best fighter either. I just agree with him when he said he could beat Bruce Lee.
Yeah, bro. Greetings to Darion.
By the way, the footage with Big Moore has not changed. He's a bold-faced liar. He's not a liar. And that has changed because I've seen the original footage. By the way. So that is not you. I won't say you're a bold-faced liar, but you're lying right now. You're mistaken. And your defense of the mistake makes you a liar.
It makes you willing.
Respect and honor, Jadarian.
Yeah, it's hard to let go of the mythology.
It's hard. You know? It's hard. People want to put Bruce up like he was a master, and they want to put him up like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he was not.
Yeah.
Eugene Mason says, yeah, Bo. Thank you.
Another thing I think we have to realize, and I think it's the way that social media affects us all, is that there are people who are kind of coming into their own as adults and as people who have access to computers, who can type on keyboards and say whatever it is that they want to say, become an expert on a thing, that they haven't really studied in depth. but I see a lot of people talk about subjects that I know about, just not even that I've studied deeply, but that just being an adult who's been alive for a certain amount of time, I know how long people have been talking about XYZ. And you'll
Right.
get a person who has just become an adult, supposedly, who will speak with all of this expertise on this thing that they have no idea about. But it's
That's
like,
like it's like the dude who told me, Bruce Lee. I've seen those techniques, and Bruce Lee did them better. Anthony Davis says, wrong again. He stopped training in Wing Chun with Yip Man. He studied and trained in many styles and ran 3 schools in Oakland, Seattle, and LA. He ran classes in his home. Yes. Michael Jai White told a story of a man on train who he didn't recognize, who was talking to him about training and fighting, and told him he had retired. He had retired him, broke his collarbone, 3 of his ribs, etc. Okay. I've heard that he was training before that and was street fighter with it. He was supposedly sent to Ip Man to calm him down. He wasn't training before that, except I think in boxing, but he was a street fighter. But street fighting in Hong Kong, and they would fight on rules and things of that nature, they would test their martial arts ability. He actually did that after going to Ip Man. He didn't go to Ip Man to calm him down. He was, yeah, maybe he did go to Ip Man to calm him down. I don't know, but he was street fighting with his martial arts too. So it didn't calm that down. Now, I've heard that he was beating the street fighters, but I don't give much credence to other kung fu styles, to be honest. I was working at a bar once here in Atlanta, a Club Visions. I was bouncing. I was working VIP, and there were a group of Asians who were harassing a waitress, black waitress, and she came to me for help, to tell me what they were doing. I saw her when she was walking over, and I was like, please don't come over here. But she came, and she said, they harassed me, grabbing my butt, blah, blah, blah. So I went over. I said, gentlemen, please do not harass the wait staff, blah, 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 blah. This one dude grabs me. Says, we do whatever the fuck we want to do. He grabs me. I didn't know at the time he was Chinese. I knew he was Asian. And I whooped his ass. Then I started just tossing the other ones. Then one jumped out onto the dance floor and throws up praying mantis hands. And Chinese. I walked up to him, slapped him in his chest. Stop it. Stop it. And he stopped it. The thing about Chinese arts, well, I can't say that, because now Swai Jiao, or Swai Cow, which is the faster combat form, is a grappling art that is amazing. And I said praying mantis is kung fu. I said I don't give much credence to kung fu. Wing Chun, which Bruce studied, is a kung fu style. It's a kung fu style that Ominiki studied before too. And
why do we have to bring me into
in our class, we make fun of Wing Chun, to be honest. Um, but only because Ominiki did it.
Belay studied Jeet Kune Do also.
And Belay did Jeet Kune Do, which is also
just to get
a
it off.
martial art formed by Bruce Lee. He doesn't do Jeet Kune Do anymore.
And I don't do Wing Chun anymore.
And she doesn't do Wing Chun anymore because we get busy in our class. And we do traditional African martial arts. Okay. That's not breaking on all Kung Fu. It's just the Kung Fu that we're familiar with. Other than Tai Chi, some Tai Chi is just co-opted by capitalism, but Tai Chi and Xing Yi, other than those two, and Chwai Kao, which is fast wrestling, all the other ones I'm not impressed by. I saw a guy do dog style Kung Fu. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Now there's a monkey Kung Fu stylist. I think he's dead now. That I think was a good martial artist too. Nikki looks like she could throw a mean straight blast. I probably couldn't get out of the way of. Straight blast is that comes from Bruce Lee too. The straight blast, that's a Jeet Kune Do term. The 1-inch punch, which is a lie. Bruce Lee would do the punch with his fingers extended. His fingers are longer than 1 inch, by the way. And then he would do the punch. I can do that same punch with my hands closed. Right? That doesn't mean anything. Now I can hit hard, but me doing that punch, that's a push type of punch. If you push a person with your punch, that's for demos only. Because when you punch a person, they should drop. They should drop. Not fly back 10 feet and all that. No. That's for demo.
That's that chi.
Yeah, right.
That's what he would be doing now. That's what I was saying. That's where Bruce Lee would be at right now in his journey.
Right now. Yeah, exactly.
Be doing the more in depth with the 1-inch punch, making like 10 people fly off in different directions and stuff like that. He'd be on tour right now.
Yes.
No, Jadarian, I did not throw up the praying man's hand. That was not me.
Monique threw up the praying man's hand at you. No, that was me throwing up the praying man's hand. And when the guy did it, I'm like, okay, he's doing northern manners too, which is really, I can't say for sure, but I'll say for sure. Southern praying mantis is more effective. I said more effective. I didn't say is effective. I said more effective. So, Kiki, get down. Oh boy. Get down. Uh, my, my daughter is a trip. She pulled out a box, an empty cookie box. Now my wife thinks I ate all the cookies up. No, your daughter ate most of the cookies up. Yeah. So
I got to stop putting those boxes at Kiki height. She get access to them cookies.
1 inch punch would be 1 centimeter finger cheese strike that can penetrate 10 boards. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the boards would explode.
Now,
It wouldn't just break.
I knew a brother who could. Now it wasn't with his index finger; it was his thumb, but he could penetrate a wooden board with his thumb. And Moses Powell, who you may have heard of, and we'll do an episode on Moses Powell. Moses Powell could drive his fingers through an apple. And that's for real.
That's funny.
He could grab an apple and drive his fingers through it. That's another level or something. But he also could do one finger rollouts. He do rolls on one finger. I mean, that's, that is incredible. That's a black man, and that's incredible. Give me that. Not these myths from Bruce Lee. They say Bruce Lee could do 100 push-ups on his thumbs. Come on, man. Come on. Now I can believe he could do 100 push-ups, but on his thumbs. Now maybe on the pad of his thumb, but on the tips of his thumbs, no.
Manuel Briggs says that
I know. I don't believe it, Bob. I think you're framing the baby. No, I wouldn't do that. She ate more of the cookies than I did. I had like 4 of the cookies. Once upon a time in Hollywood, after saying he would cripple Muhammad Ali, the stuntman slammed Bruce Lee into the car. Was director sending a message?
I remember there being a lot of controversy at the time.
I don't understand. I didn't know Bruce Lee said he would cripple Muhammad Ali. That's wild.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember him. He was talking a lot of mess on set, like during they weren't on camera. He was. I guess they had shot his part or whatever, and he was talking to some guys. I don't remember what he said, but I do remember the stuntman character slamming him into the car. But I remember there was a big to-do about that from his family. Following, when the movie came out.
Well, yeah, I know when the movie came out, it was something about a Bruce Lee fight or something with the stunt man. But
I would say Petty Gibbs that more than anything, he might have called himself sending a message, but you have to consider the source. That particular director is very sensationalistic with the things that he does. And he just
that's a Quentin Tarantino movie, right?
Right, yeah, it gets people talking about the movie. I mean, he likes controversy, so it didn't have to be any more than that. The reason why he put that in,
right? Now, yeah, Quentin Tarantino, I don't see any of his movies as realistic. That Filipino style, silat, and that kung fu style, Baji Guan, look effective. Now the Filipino style is not salat. That's Indonesian. That is effective. But well, a couple of the styles of salat. There are over 100 styles of salat. Some just look like kung fu. But Bukti Nagara is probably what you're talking about. Now, look at the name, Bukti Nagara. Nagara, black. That is effective. There are a couple that are effective. A couple forms of salat. The Filipino martial arts are Kali Eskrima, there are hundreds of styles of that too. I imagine some of those are not effective, but the styles like Pakiti Tersha is great. Pakiti Tersha deals with more the knife and is great. There's a martial artist, Bobby Tabo Eda, and he does the stick. Whoo-wee. His stick work is chef's kiss. So you got some exceptional martial artists out here now. You got some exceptional martial artists. Let me see. He likes black people and Bruce Lee. Oh, you talking about Quentin Tarantino? I don't know if he likes black people. He probably likes Bruce Lee, but I don't know if he likes black people, considering his nigga used hundreds of times in his movies, and I don't know if he loves black people, but
he likes them he likes us for a certain thing.
Yeah, we could put asses in seats in the movies. Yes, I understand the Bruce Lee argument. What I have a hard time understanding is how Michael Jai White's size would be the winning factor. It's his experience in martial arts, and his size is the gravy on the steak. In my opinion, Demetrius Johnson and Anderson Silva in their prime would give him problems. Who would give Michael Jai White problems? Oh, yeah.
I think he's talking about Bruce Lee.
No. They're talking about Michael Jai White. Yes. Demetrius Johnson and Anderson Silva in their prime would give Michael Jai White problems because his size is not the winning factor. It's gravy on the steak. Plus his experience. I said he beat Bruce Lee. I didn't say he would beat any fighter.
Right. Well, that goes back to the person who talked about how he hasn't accepted any MMA fights, as though MMA is the pinnacle of, all.
Right, all that too. So MMA is not the pinnacle of fighting, but number one, you said Demetrius Johnson and Anderson Silva, they are the pinnacle of that form of fighting. So no, they whoop his ass.
Even then, how long ago was that? Because the MMA
Anderson Silva was the pinnacle about 10 years ago.
Right.
And Demetrius Johnson was the pinnacle about 5 years ago, but they're in different weight classes. Demetrius Johnson was a lightweight, I believe. They call him Mighty Mouse. He was a little dude, but goddamn, he was skilled.
Yeah, bro.
Anderson Silva, we know, was skilled. Anderson Silva, in fact, in the fight where Anthony Joshua broke Jake Paul's jaw in two places. Anderson Silva fought one of the opening fights.
Really?
Yeah, against Tyron Woodley, who was a champion in MMA, after Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva knocked his ass out. So now he can still bang, and Anderson Silva is 50 or something like that too. 50 years old. So Anderson Silva can still bang. But in his prime, whoo, yeah, he'd have messed Michael Jai White up. Now Demetrius Johnson, I believe he would have beaten Michael Jai White, but not definitively like Anderson Silva would have. Anderson Silva was a middleweight in his prime. Demetrius, and that's 185 pounds.
Yeah, well.
Demetrius Johnson, a lightweight, or less, bantamweight or something. You're talking, 140 pounds or something like that. Now,
that's still bigger than Bruce Lee, right?
Yeah, I believe Bruce Lee was 135 pounds.
Okay.
So, and Bruce Lee was much less experienced. Bruce Lee did study Arnis after once he came to America for a while under Danny Inosanto. I don't think he got to a level of mastery in it. I think he just got to a level of looking good on camera.
Oh, we got 2 donations. I just want to acknowledge those. Thank you, Sister Aket, and our good brother Eugene Mason for your donations.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know where they go to, but thank you. I guess it goes to Black Power Media.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a comment I can't get to now.
What was it?
And okay, I can finally scroll up. So let me see if I can find it. Oh, I wanted to iManifesto said he may be racist, but some of his black characters have agency and are the smartest. I wanted to speak to that. The 2 that I am thinking of, both of them were played by Sam Jackson, where they were like, very, very smart. And also, I can't remember what happened to him and Jackie Brown. I really don't want to go back and watch it, but I would say in Django and in it's not Hard 8, that's a different director. I can't remember. It was a Western. But I don't want to give spoilers, but if you think about it, like in one of those
Crazy Eights,
the something 8.
Yeah, it's Crazy Eights.
I think that's a kung fu movie.
No.
Hateful Eight. That's what it is.
Hateful Eight. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He was essentially castrated in the Hateful Eight. Think about what happens to them ultimately in the movies. No, not what he sets them up as, but what happened to the very powerful black man in Pulp Fiction. You know what I'm saying? That everyone knows. Hateful Eight, Sam Jackson was castrated. I can't remember what happened to him in Jackie Brown, but we all know what happened to him.
Happened to her in Jackie Brown.
Who?
Happened to her in Jackie Brown.
No, I'm talking about Sam Jackson's character, who tends to be in. I know. I can't remember what happened to her either. I saw the movie when it came out.
We know what happened to him in Django, but
right. And that's what I'm saying.
But now he did give Django agency.
True. Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm stuck on Sam Jackson. But I just think about, and also not, I mean, not just even in Pulp Fiction, not Sam Jackson, but the Marcellus Wallace and
Yeah, I
in
know,
Pulp Fiction,
I know
you
what
know.
happened to
Yeah,
Marcellus.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's some sinister things happening to these black people in these Tarantino movies. It's not all agency and cleverness. Like he's
now,
and this
didn't he
is
get away in Jackie Brown? I'm not sure what happened in Jackie Brown. I can't remember.
I don't know. It's been so long. I mean that movie
But in
came
the
out
Hateful Eight, he
years ago.
got smoked,
Yeah,
and
he got his penis
yeah,
shot off.
right,
That's a very specific way to
right,
die.
and in Django, he got done in too. I mean, he got first of all, you just take he didn't have no agency. They made it like he was going to have agency. He's talking and drinking, and then the white boy gets killed. He no, he crying, and man, I believe he died in every movie except Pulp Fiction. Yeah, now in Pulp Fiction, he was they made him a good character. I'd say Pulp Fiction was the best character Sam Jackson has played in any of the uh, Tarantino movies.
And that was his first. So it's been
Was it?
downhill since
Yeah, it
then.
was his first. Now,
His first.
uh, but they made him a good character. But yeah, they I mean had Marcellus get raped and oh boy,
Yeah.
this powerful black man gets raped by the Gimp.
Well, not the Gimp, but the keepers of the Gimp.
No, I think the Gimp raped him too.
Mm.
I think the
It's,
Gimp raped him.
it's stuff like that I can't rewatch. I've seen Pulp Fiction maybe twice, maybe three times, but I can't rewatch that part. I just can't, you know. And so I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just relying on my movie memory to say I don't think that's what's happened, but it could have been.
Rabbit said, "OG, what would?" But it didn't finish. What would the African version of ninjutsu look like? It wouldn't. So ninjutsu is an art of assassination, often for pay. There's no martial art in Africa like that. Um, I know Tariq Nasheed said some jive. I got into an argument with her sister about it, but no. A real black man never allows anyone to disrespect him, regardless of who they are. I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think what we have to remember, Rabid Rabbit, is with martial arts. I don't know, where you're coming from with this, but they're developed in a certain social environment, that they are developed for a reason based on where they're from for certain purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe they have a need for assassins wherever ninjutsu was developed.
Now, I will say there has been needs for assassins in Africa, in modern Africa. I don't know about ancient Africa if there was a need for assassins, uh, not of that caliber. What does Baba think about Kubagani and Gumi style? You want me to be honest with you? What I think about it? So
What is that?
Kubagani and Gumi was formed by some brothers from the United States. And it was named Kubagani and Gumi by the same person who created Kwanzaa.
Great.
Um, I know brothers who do Kubagani and Gumi. I knew about it before. Now I know masters of Kubagani and Gumi now, but back years ago, about in the 80, I think like 91 or something like that. I knew a brother who was a high-ranking student of Kubagani and Gumi, and he was bragging about his kicks. And that's when I knew it was not from Africa. African martial arts do knees, and they do some kicks. So in some arts, so like in Dambe, they do round kick and they do front kick, right? I think a side kick too. They do kicks, but his level of kicking, I mean, he was, he dropped down to the splits, and that's no. Oh, we had assassins and still do. Okay, if you say so. I can't comment. Now I know we do now for sure. As far as ancient times, I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm not building up a beautiful world, a utopia. I know a brother who and I write a form of writing called Sword and Soul, where we have martial artists back in the 1400s, 14 and 1300s, and it was martial arts, and that's drawn on the tombs of Mahez, right? Beni Hassan. But as far as assassination, that is skill. Now, Ron Duncan is whose name? The black man who does ninjutsu, Ron Duncan. So I know Ron Duncan's son, one of his sons. All right. Greg Duncan. But those brothers study Kung Fu like Fundishi Jehuti. Or you talking about Kubagani and Gumi? Yeah. What did Baba think of Master Snake style? Black dude with locks was on cover of Black Belt and in that documentary. In which documentary? But I don't know Master of Snake style. Now, there are masters of snake style Kung Fu, but I don't know them. In that documentary, the documentary was called Snake. I've never seen that. Ron Duncan did Japanese ninjutsu, right? Yes, he did. There's also a book for the snake style. I imagine there's several books for the snake style. But snake style kung fu, yeah. It came from Kemet, the method. You mean assassination?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now in Kemet, they were very smart. I can imagine if it came from anywhere, it would have come from there. Yes. There was a black guy that they credit for bringing ninjutsu to America. Yeah, he brought it from Japan.
Manifesto says the documentary was about pioneering black martial arts. It focused on 4 or 5 guys.
Okay. Pioneering black martial artists. Focus on 4 or 5 guys. You talking about uh, Black Steel? Men of Black Steel? I didn't know they did a documentary on that. They may have. There's a book called Men of Black Steel that focuses on black martial artists from America. Um, it focuses on a Aikido guy, a karate guy. Now there are several masters of karate, black masters. There are several black masters of jiu-jitsu. I'm not talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm talking about Japanese jiu-jitsu and judo. Probably some black masters of kung fu too. Well, it is.
Yeah, I'm
In
sure.
fact, in fact, I have a friend that's a master of Wing Chun. Uh, Phil Glapion. He's a master of Wing Chun. Um,
Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not sure the person who taught me was a master. He was pretty young. He could have been, but he was pretty young to be. He would have been a very young master.
yeah. So it's it's a lot of masters out here of Asian martial arts. It's in America. It's one of African martial arts that I know of. Well, it's two of African martial arts I know of. Me and Maestre Preto Veo. Now he's called Preto Veo because he does capoeira too, which is not African, but he does an African form of stick fighting called Kalinda. Um, his slave name is Dennis Newsom. He did the choreography for 52 Blocks in what's the movie with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover?
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah, he did the choreography for the 52 Blocks in Lethal Weapon.
The fight choreography.
Yes. So when Mel Gibson fights Mr. Joshua. I forget his real name, but he's called Mr. Joshua in the movie. He starts with 52 blocks. And then he goes into capoeira. I think Dennis Newsom did that too, the capoeira style for that movie.
I'm having a hard time scrolling. But Aket says we are the original martial artists. We taught them. We are masters of all.
Go
I
ahead.
was going to say I'm not sure if you're familiar with this show, Aket. I want to say I think I've seen your name before today, but
Yes.
yeah, the things that we the art that I am still learning and that Baba teaches is African martial arts, and it is not or it's called Igbe Ogun. It is not a black version of an Asian martial art.
All right.
We are very aware of the deep roots of martial arts in Africa, and they don't look anything like a lot of the things that we're talking about right now.
Right.
So we're aware of where we come from and what the origin is, but like I said, with martial arts are developed in certain areas depending on the needs of the people who live in those areas. So we can't claim, the origin to be the origin of an Asian martial art. There may be some that we taught them, but there are certainly going to be ones that they develop themselves because martial arts are developed by people in certain places based on their needs.
Right. Now, and in fact, we brought a brother in from Senegal to teach Lam, which is a grappling art. Most of the arts you'll find on the African continent are grappling arts mixed with some are mixed with some striking. Now the Hausa art, Dambe, which I mentioned earlier, is all striking. But you don't usually find arts without the grappling aspect in Africa. And we say African martial arts because from the top to bottom, side to side, they're very similar. You're going to have stick fighting. You're going to have grappling. You're going to have hand strikes. In some, you'll have knees. You'll have blade weapons, swords, knives as well. But you can't practice a sword or knife at full power. You can practice it though. It's hard to practice a strike at full power, but you can practice a throw at full power. Now we can practice strikes at about half power. We can practice strikes and that's with hands or with a stick. And now with a stick, you want to do like 20%, But when you're striking stick to stick or sword to sword, you can go full power. But don't go full power against somebody's hand. you
Brittany
break their
suggested
hand.
that we use meat carcasses. I mean, we had a show
We've done
called
that before.
Knife to Meet You.
Yes. So
on,
yes, there's an episode called Knife to Meet You. And
actually, that was on the original Black Power media.
right. And we are using pig flesh to cut. So we do that.
But you can't, it's difficult to continuously find, meat to cut like that. Particularly, I mean, none of us eat pig, so it's like
Right.
going out buying that over and over again. It's training is something that you can realistically do every day.
Right. Somebody suggested to me once that when I still had teeth, somebody suggested, why don't you practice biting on a pig carcass? I said, because I don't eat pig.
Right.
That would be gross. I'm not going to do that. I'm not even put a shirt on it. I'm not going to put my mouth near the pig. But using the stick or cutting it, oh yeah. But like Ominiki said, that's not sustainable unless you're rich or something. Right. It's not sustainable to just
have access to a pig farm some kind of way.
Right. Now I got access to a farm that sells pigs, yes. But
no, I mean for free. Like you
no
pay anything. You just can go in there and do your thing.
No. Because you can do the same thing with a beef carcass, but goddamn, you're gonna pay. You're gonna be paying for that beef meat. That's for sure. You can do the same thing with a turkey, but you're gonna pay.
Anything flesh.
Right. Anything flesh except you get into a fight out here outside and you just F somebody up. That'd be some good training for you, but that's not sustainable either.
I was about to say, still not sustainable.
So, unless you live in the worst place in the world, that's not sustainable.
Oh, yeah. What do I mean by what? Rabbit. What do I mean by it not being sustainable?
You saying stuff that I don't see.
I'm on the
Oh, so what does Ominiki mean? Oh, I see it now.
The name? Oh, what does the name Ominiki mean?
Oh,
it means.
Well, first I want to address Brittany. You said wild boars. Oh, she said just kidding. Because I was gonna say, who can find a wild boar out here?
And who wants to?
Right, exactly.
Terrifying. It reminds me of that episode of Atlanta. You may not remember it, Bob. It was a long time ago.
It was a boar on Atlanta?
Yes. No. That last season where they were just, I think it was the last, or it might have been the second to the last, but them two, when they were kind of all over the place doing different things. Yeah. Paperboy got into
a scrap with a boar?
Yeah, like a ride. It's an interesting episode, All of those were kind of funny. Hey, Okikiola. Hey. You're eating, huh?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Eating a cupcake. Ooh. So I am vindicated. I'm not the one who be eating the sweets like that.
But
I'm about to take another old man break real quick.
okay.
Come on.
Um, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna look something up while Baba takes his old man break. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I remember the exact meaning of this word, but so um we are practitioners and Baba is a priest of Ifa, and he actually bestowed me or gave me the name Amaniki in divination. My Orisha is Olokun, which is a female Orisha of the deep waters, and Amaniki means to prostrate to Olokun, which basically prostration is deep, deep reverence, like to actually bow with one's face to the ground. So that's technically what Amaniki means. I hope that answers your question. Let's see here. Any more questions about anything? Any more? I know we were talking about Venezuela earlier. We talked about Nigeria a little bit. I'm very glad that we did this show because it kind of took me. I was really in my head about a lot of that. I know that a lot of people who are watching, even the ones who aren't talking, are and have been preparing for a while, because we know what's going on in this world. One of the things that I did mean to bring up during the news is that I think it was yesterday was the like the 10th, 9th or 10th anniversary of the passing of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and she really imparted a lot, brought a lot of information and imparted a lot of knowledge about the things that we see going on right now, and what is really behind the things that we see going on right now. And if we have an understanding of that, then we know that this is basically the death rattle for these people. That's why they're trying to take out as many people as they can, because they can't make children anymore, and so they're banging on the people who do, and the people who have always been here. They're trying to do whatever they can to take as many of us and do harm to as many of us as possible, and that's the whole game. So,
Mine is Ilegua and Oya.
oh, I talked about the meaning of Aminiki, so I talked about Olokun
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit.
Yeah, my Orisha is Obatala and Ogun. Peace and war. Obatala and Ogun. Met Kaufu. Now, I believe Kaufu is uh, a type of Eshu, Elekbara. I'm not sure, but I believe that is. So it's
Elegua, that's issue also, right?
high.
Elegua, that's issue.
Elegua, yes, that's Eshu. That's another name of Eshu. Yes, that's not the African name of Eshu.
Right.
I believe it's Haitian, but I'm not sure. I know Kaufu is Haitian. Met Kaufu, that's Haitian. They eat us. Basically, no two man who is woman. No two man who is woman. Or Santeria. Okay. Santeria. Yeah, so that name is Elegbara or Eshu in the Yoruba tradition.
Yeah, right.
Isheshe.
Yeah, she was a brilliant woman, Emmanuel. But
Oh,
I was talking about Frances Cress Welsing.
oh, yeah.
Her it was her the ninth, I think the ninth anniversary yesterday of her transcending or transitioning, excuse me. And I was just talking about how her what it is, the things that she taught, and also of course Dr. Neely Fuller, who he was older than her, but he just transitioned this year. But the what they brought to the table was really the baseline of what we're dealing with, and the baseline of the reasons that we're dealing with what we're dealing with right now from these Yorugus.
Right. Che. So Che is like Ashe. Well, Ashe is actually how I said, but Ashe.
Where are you from, Akhet? Where are you from, and where are you contacting us from? If you don't mind sharing that, but particularly, where are you from in the world?
Ilegwa and Mekafu are brothers. Okay.
So does Metcalfu have a counterpart in Ifa?
No,
I was going to say, did you say that and I missed it?
no. I know there's a Kafu in Haitian Bodum. I'm in California. I guess it's in Santeria too. But so Elek Barra is Sheshe. He doesn't have a brother. He has a woman. Who? Ishu? Oh, both do. Okay. I'm from South America, South Africa, South Cape.
In Africa.
Okay. Oh, Sion. Okay.
Is that where you are right now, Sion? And also, what sort of martial arts do you practice, or if you're familiar with the martial arts of your region? I know they don't always have like a formal name. Is that right, Baba?
Right.
This might be what you do in your village or where you're from.
Now the Zulu they do MP, but so yes, ma'am. So he or she is in South Africa. Okay, so you joined us on the Bruce Lee episode, huh?
I wish I remember some Zulu.
Well,
Oh,
I don't know if it's a Zulu though. Might be a Xhosa,
that's true. Excuse me.
although the languages are very similar. I practice dragon. Okay. I'm so-called colored. Okay. Male. All right. Oh, yeah. Khoisan. Yes.
And what's that, Baba? That's the art.
No. That's like Xhosa. What we call
Oh, okay.
Khoisan, they call Khoisan.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. Well, welcome. We appreciate you joining us.
Yes.
Do you practice art there, or were you taught something growing up among your people there?
Sion. Now there's a writer, Mutwa, Credo Mutwa.
Mhm.
Credo is his Christian name, but he said that the Khoisan had the best stick fighting between the Zulu and the Khoisan. And the Zulu have excellent stick fighting, but he said the Khoisan better. Yes, it is very close linked. We are all family.
Oh, you haven't learned anything indigenous.
Not indigenous stuff. Okay.
Okay. Well, you're there. You still have a chance. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the dynamics are, but you definitely,
Yeah. Yeah. If you can find a teacher,
yeah, if you have an interest in that.
we are sort of distant to our roots.
I understand. Yeah. I've worked with there's a good amount of Africans in the industry that I work in, continental Africans. So I talk to Africans who are very distant from their roots all the time. I have had many conversations with people who were taught ridiculous things as supposedly what their history is. And
Now, I know a brother named Philip who's a close friend of Akimbobala from England. Uh, he's Igbo, and he came to me a couple of times for divination. I said, "Man, why don't you deal with the Igbo for divination?" He said, "Man, it's you can't find nobody hardly. Well, he couldn't find nobody who did Igbo tradition. Um, the Igbo are mostly Christian.
mm,
Nothing wrong with Christianity, but you don't give up your own tradition for something else. But you know, the Mutwa in his name is reference to the Twa Khoisan. Oh, okay. I know he was Khoisan too.
oh, interesting.
I thought he was Zulu. Okay. Kumba, create your own. Yeah. Wow. But we are returning to our roots. We are on the continent and you abroad. Yes.
You're both,
That's,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
And we just got to keep reaching for it, no matter what.
Yes. Yeah. And try to get as close to the real as you can on your continent.
Yeah, bro.
I've had the pleasure of teaching continental Africans martial arts. Um, I've my wife has done spiritual work for people, Africans from the continent. We both have done it for Africans from the diaspora. Let me see. How do I find out what mine is? Your Orisha through divination.
But if you want to find out what your indigenous African martial art is, I manifesto. Then you come to Atlanta.
Now,
To Atlanta, brother.
yeah, or bring us to where you're at. This is biblical too, more than many seem to know. Okay. You mean to return back to our ancestral traditions? Okay. Stay away from the troglodyte by all means necessary.
100.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I would say, and people may not agree with me on this, but I would say even his stores, but for certain items, I still shop at his stores.
Yeah, me too. Everyone does, but
Right. Unless they're completely off the grid. And I don't know. I know of, I've heard of people going completely off the grid, but I don't know personally anyone who's completely off the grid. Because even people who claim that, they still will pay someone or will go themselves to a grocery store
Yeah,
to pick up things.
that's the setup right now. So you get what you can from the setup, but you know what it is. You know, that's the thing. There was a time when I wouldn't shop at one certain store, and well, I mean, right now there is one certain store that I definitely don't go to because people are saying we are boycotting that store. So as long as we're saying we're doing that, I will do that. But I'm saying in the past there's a certain grocery store, a certain something else that I don't go to because of their whatever their corporate leanings in some certain way. When you think about it, all of these places have those leanings. It's just there's this one that's in the news at a certain time, so you decide to stay away from them. But they're all the same.
Now, Akek Kabas says, yes, okay, we create our stores for you to shop. Now, I do shop at some black stores, some
Absolutely.
indigenous stores, but I can't completely do that right now. But yeah, if it's created, why not? No
Definitely.
Walmart, no Safeway. No, I don't go to Walmart or Safeway. 238 and count.
You have 238 stores.
If she has 238 stores, she's a millionaire probably.
Well, I think she's saying that maybe an organization that she's aware of has set up
Oh,
that, or I'm not sure. If you have access to 238 stores, please drop the information. But
oh.
what I'm saying is, where are those stores getting their supply from?
Right.
Somewhere
That's
in there,
right.
you are giving money to Urugus. You know,
Yes.
somewhere
This
in
is very
there you
important.
are.
We should start this year off with those priorities. Buy black.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean that
We
that
have
that, that
started off many years with
that's
those
right,
priorities.
that's been my priority.
Absolutely.
Buying black.
No
But
question.
certain things you got to buy from other folks. Like me with certain weapons, my knives and things of that nature. Now I have a knife that was forged by a black man, but most of my weapons, especially my firearms, were made by Caucasians, probably.
Yeah, well. And you just have to think about the life that we're living. Like at some point in the future, and I would welcome it, we may be off to doing something different. But as long as I have to get up and go to work on certain days, I have to go to, the store to get food to make dinner, like, I mean, it's just the practical way of living, the way that we are practically living right now makes it necessary to go purchase things from certain places. I absolutely buy from as many black people as I possibly can.
Yeah, I do too.
And
Now, Akek Kaba said, no, they're white supremacists and honorary supremacists have 238 stores that you don't realize you give them money. I imagine.
there's more than that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a food co-op here. It's in Atlanta. I go there as often as I can. But where are they getting their food from?
Right.
Like you drop down one level or two levels, and you're still giving your money to the same people. But it's your awareness that's important.
And if you're talking about the same food co-op. My wife used to work at that co-op, and a lot of stuff. Now, I went in that co-op one time. Now they only sell, if it's the same co-op, they only sell vegan food. I found it's an Indian food that's chicken in there, and I told my wife, and so she told the whoever was above who was above her at that time, and they got rid of it. But
It's not all vegan anymore. They definitely so
it's not all vegan anymore.
it's vegetarian now. So they have like dairy products and stuff like that. The hot bar and all that is still vegan, but the yeah, no, there's definitely products in there that aren't 100% vegan.
Well, yeah. So I found that, and I found this one water that isn't even water. It's the it's the runoff from stalactites,
Hmm.
stalagmites. So it contained lime in it or whatever. They got rid of that too.
Interesting.
Are there black gun dealers in Atlanta to order from? No, but now there's a. I remember reading, but I never ordered from. But I remember reading about a black person. I don't remember what state he's in. He makes uh, his own brand of AR-15s, and they're supposed to be great. So I gotta look him up, and once I get the money for it, I'll order from him.
And I've heard of one or two stores that are black owned that are gun stores in Atlanta or supply stores. But I haven't been to. I mean, they're normally like. I'm sorry, I'm saying Atlanta, Georgia. They're normally like. I just haven't had the occasion to be able to go to one of them, and they're still selling the same weapons that everyone else sells. So if you're buying like I Manifesto just mentioned Glock, they're selling Glocks. So where's the money going to? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Now Glock, any Glock that you get is a good weapon for self defense and training, but not home self defense. No pistol is good for home self defense. I mean, in your like shooting in your home if you had to, because the rounds will go through walls. A shotgun shooting shot, like buckshot or bird shot, that's best for home defense. Now, if you get a shotgun and you shoot a slug, that's going to go through the wall too. But a shotgun that shoots, especially bird shot, that's not going through the wall. Yeah. Greetings from Israel. Get yourself a Galil Ace.
And those are Israeli manufactured, or are they? Are you Hebrew Israelite? Like, what is your affiliation? Well, where are those guns coming from?
Yeah, and white Jew or black Jew Israel. Yeah, I was going to ask that question myself.
I'm very curious about those particular affiliations. What is IDF?
I'm an IDF combat veteran. So he's probably a white Jew then. Yeah, that's definitely Israel. Yes, it's Israeli Defense Force.
Are you gonna answer that question, Zev?
But he's probably white. He's in the IDF, but especially the veteran out of IDF. But as far as the weapon, I don't know. And let me say,
I don't think he'll be able to.
let me say, I support and with all my heart Palestine.
Absolutely.
I'll say that.
I show it.
Google it. You people are racist. Okay, yeah. Get out of here.
Are we keeping you from being able to live your life?
Right. Right.
Oh boy.
Benelli M2. So Benelli makes great shotguns. Google it. You people are racist. You know, people who are known for their racism are funny when they call us racist.
It's a calculated attack.
Yeah, but it's an attack that goes nowhere on here.
Right. Yeah.
So
Right.
take that back to your mother.
This bag?
Yes, the bag and what's in the bag. Take it back to your mother. I don't even know where she got that phone from. She got a phone. Wait, that's my phone. Bring me my phone. Yellow, can you get my phone, please? Well, bring it to me then.
Sweet baby. That is what it is all about, right there.
No, it's not about. It's not about that.
I'm talking about the babies, the sweet babies.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is all about.
Oh, yes. In our racism, yes. Now, I'll say I am a racist. My expertise and my belief is for my people. Like a pianist, a flautist, they have an expertise. A pianist is an expert in the piano. I'm an expert in Black people. You end up on a watch list talking about guns and supporting terrorists. Oh, boy. I love all my Black family, and I wish I had all the money to give to you. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And thank you for your contributions. We appreciate you.
Yes. Yes. End up on a watch list. I'm already on a watch list. I'm on several watch lists, as a matter of fact. So stop it. I believe every black person on here is on somebody's watch list. So you're not scaring us with that. Ben Israel, whatever the hell your name is. Zeb Ben Ami. Zeb Ben Ami. Take your ass on somewhere. Now, as a matter of fact, let me see. Zeb Ben Ami.
They're not going to be able to show it. I can't.
I'm banning his or her ass from this thing.
No, their point was to, become part of the conversation.
Right. They're not going to show the weapon. Of course not. We watching them watching us.
I mean, it's not that things haven't always been serious, but things are definitely coming to a head.
Yeah.
So, these moves that they're making are opening moves.
Right. Well, you all, I've enjoyed our time.
Yeah.
Be safe in your homes.
Yeah, bum.
Be safe out in the street, in the school, wherever it is that you go. Now they know that, Baba, you would think Black Power Media would say it all.
It does.
Yes, but you just have to be careful of how you say it, because they can ban us, ban our recordings or whatever. So what I wanted to say to the person, I couldn't say it, because that may cost us our show. So now anyone who knows me from when we first started this show early on, ooh boy, I tear into people,
Right.
but I've gotten less like that now. I'm just real good with the delete button now.
And the thing about it is, and I know a lot of us know this, is that they, like I said, their point is to become part of the conversation and to disrupt. They know what they're doing. They know the history. You know what I'm saying? We you see brothers and sisters get frustrated and get into these conversations, and worse, get into these complicated explanations to these people making these comments as though they don't know what they're saying. They know what they're saying. They know what they believe. They know what they were taught by their parents. They know. It is nothing to talk about. There's no discussion to be had with them.
Right. I can't Kabas, yes, we do ritual.
Right. So you come on to Black Power Media and making these comments, you know what you're doing.
Right. I did a ritual at the river a couple of days ago. So yes, we do. Now, who give a shit about a watch list? Right.
I manifest with that. I kind of enjoyed that version of Baba.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed him too, but I enjoy this show more, and I've seen what will happen. What will happen? How do I find out about my Orisha? You get divination, like I said earlier.
Come to Atlanta, I manifesto.
You can So you can get it from my wife. She'll do it over the phone.
Oh, okay.
I used to do divinations. I still am qualified. I just don't do them anymore. But um, you can do it that way. Now I can sit with her while she's on you with the phone, and then I can look at what your Orisha are. I can do that for you. We will shut the world down. Yes. All right. So, like I was saying, be careful in your homes. Be careful out in the street, the restaurant, the school, wherever you have to go. Stay black or whatever it is that you may be. Peace.
Peace. Much love, family.
Much love.
Have a wonderful week.
Yes.